Hey everyone! So today I'm focusing on cooking. I have a shuffle that, while it may not make you tons of gold, it is simple and easy and it doesn't need your full attention. This is great for working from home or watching YouTube on your other screen. Now, I'm going to pop chapters into this video so you can skip around as much as you want to. Hopefully I've made that easy for you. First, I'm going to cover off what the shuffle is. Second is going to be the requirements to do this. Third is how to level your cooking. And then finally, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that I've been using for the best results. Let's get going then. So the shuffle itself is buying meat from the auction house for under 1 gold. Then we portion it into steak and we sell it for 1.7 gold. Let's do some maths here. If we buy 1,000 meat, most likely going to be basically beef, but sometimes other types of wings and stuff for under 1 gold per unit, this is going to cost 1,000 gold or just below it. We craft these into portion steak at maximum level, and you're going to expect around a 20% additional yield. So you should get around 1,200 portion steak. Now, if you sell these at around 1.7 gold per unit, that is going to come to 2,040 gold. So in this case, auction house cut aside, you can double your initial investment. The volumes are probably sounding underwhelming to you. I do get that. But for those of you who actually have quite low gold, and I do know some of you do, being able to consistently flip something to almost double your gold is really, really big. Now, I know there's a strong element at the moment of everyone doing it makes it bad, but never underestimate how few people will actually go back and consistently do these things. I did this yesterday in chunks while doing other things. I made about 12,000 gold without ever feeling like I was actively trying. The largest buys of beef I did were 5,000, and the market seemed absolutely fine with that. You might well be thinking as well that my prices are out because beef is costing 1 gold 24 silver whenever you look at it. But I'm going to cover that off in the hints at the end. So what you need to do this one, as usual, a character of at least level 70, and the warband should have completed the campaign. You might as well do this on your main character, especially if you're a skimp PvPer, as it's something that you can crack on with between 45-minute solo shuffle queues. You will need maximum level cooking, but I'm going to cover that part in the next section. Let's level cooking then. Before you start, grab a rolling pin and a hat. I used green ones from the auction house as I am a non-profession shuffling scrub. I actually have plenty of artisan's acuity now, but I'm suffering from indecision paralysis and I'm too scared to spend it since apparently it needs to last me the rest of the expansion or something. The cooking trainer is in Donegal at the inn, situated just a few doors away from the bank. You can get from 1 to 25 portioning steak or doing spiced meat stock. The results you get in this batch don't reflect the results that you're going to get at maximum level. After that, you can just craft the things that you train. For me, at level 35, I used Pep in Your Step, which is one of the fishing derby recipes. I actually sold mine in the first week and then bought one back cheaper this week. You don't need it though. At 60, I moved to Beledars bounty recipe. Now, this recipe is a little bit of hassle to get. You go to Beledars in Hello4 and find Auriella Steelstrike. She gives you the quest economical request. You just follow this quest chain until the point where you hand in underground economics. At this point, the quest is going to stop abruptly. Unfortunately, you can't continue from this point until the next day. Apparently, it used to be a week in between, but recently they changed it so it's 1 day. It's not a 24-hour day, thankfully. It's just a quest reset. So I did this in the evening and logged out at the fountain, and then I logged back in bright and early the next morning and my quest was ready. So the next day, follow the quest again until you reach a home-cooked meal. This is the quest that rewards you with the recipe. The recipe is pretty cheap to craft compared to the alternatives. Anything using fish is basically extortionate. It goes green at around 90, but I carried on crafting it to 100. So I had 110 of these once I finished. They all sold quickly, so that got me a big chunk of gold back from leveling. Now, this was the cheapest way that I found of leveling. If you don't care about costs, you could always craft the Jester's Board Hire, or pick up Everything Stew from Renown 4 of the Ringing Deeps, or even go and get Beledars Bounty at level 35 and just craft the same thing the whole way. There are probably more ways to level 2. I'd love to hear yours in comments if you have any. Last up then, I wanted to give you a few tips. Now, I use Auctionator at the auction house, and here is how I use it for maximum effect. When I'm buying something, like basically beef, I often see a price that's unfavourable to me. I want to buy my beef for under £1. So what I do is I type in the quantity I want and then press buy and check the pop-up for the price. I do this a few times until I see a price that I'm happy with and then I confirm it. The reason this works is that the auction house seems to be literally crawling with people baiting for prices. So while I'll never do that myself, I know if I wait a couple of minutes, I can definitely capitalise on someone else doing it. But in order to actually be fast enough to get the auctions, you have to really press the buy button ready and only confirm when it reaches your price. My next little tip is for selling. I've put a few stacks of portion steak on the auction house of like 1200 and they've all sold, but that doesn't always happen. If you want to be safe and avoid any unnecessary auction house fees, you can just pop on a stack of 200 and then babysit them for a few minutes, refreshing the listing until you're not the cheapest anymore, and then immediately post your next stack of 200. Sometimes other sellers do get salty with you for this one. If you get hate whispers or someone suddenly starts tanking the price, try not to worry about it. The auction house is basically PvP, and when that happens, it just means you're winning. If they tank the price too low, just sit on it for half hour while it resets. Definitely don't use the time to ponder what other markets they might be in and seek revenge. No, definitely don't do that. One final little tip as well is that when you're portioning your steak, so you're taking the basically beef or the wings if you found them cheaper, and you're actually crafting your portioned steak, you don't need to be at a campfire. So you can do all this just between the mailbox and the auction house itself. So that is everything from me today. I'm looking forward to the season starting this week so I can go and cause chaos in solo queue RPGs. If they will let me in. They will let me in, right? Well, anyway, I'm hopefully going to cause chaos in solo queue RPGs and get lost on the Dawnbreaker in a whole new difficulty. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I really hope you found something useful from it. If you could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Thanks a lot. Bye!